come up with that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking? Oh boy, hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium with me, XFL Jim, joined as always by my man, my co-host, Chase, the Wolf of Oakland, Lupine Fiasco, the one currently in bed with Scary Terry, Sessoms. As always, I am the whole Buffalo. And I just want to start out, for those people listening, I'm just looking right now as I'm talking. I'm seeing myself for the first time in a couple days. My mustache is looking real thick. I look like an 80s news anchor.
It's pretty solid. It's a really good mustache, I must admit. I mean, for having most of the facial hair, configurations covered on this show, I feel like we're representing the ones that we cover very well.
I do think we're doing a really good job in that department. This has been a crazy weekend of sports, and of course, we're going to talk everything World Cup, football, and just, God, so much shit happened, man.
This week in sports had an ass that don't quit, I guess would be my best way of phrasing it. You know what has an ass that did quit? XFL Jim.
Was it?
It was my fantasy football team. Yeah. So it's the playoffs. It's the quarterfinals. This is how my week starts. This is how it starts for me. Thursday, 25.3 points out of George Kittle. Woo.
Nice move.
That's nice. Saturday, 43.86 points. Josh Allen. What? Baby, I'm going to cruise. I'm cruising. There's no way I lose this. Flash forward to today. Michael Badgley, my kicker, put up 8 points, Jim.
I mean, that's fairly typical for a kicker. That ain't bad.
That was more points than Michael Gallup scored, Miles Sanders scored, and Paris Campbell scored combined.
Yikes.
Meanwhile, I leave on my bench. How did I got this player and I was like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to be cute in the semis or something. I pick up Taysom Hill. He's a quarterback / tight end. I thought about plugging him in at the flex. Well, Michael Gallup in the flex, 1.2 points. 12.2 out of Taysom Hill with like 80 yards passing, a touchdown. So now I have basically everything riding on Scary Terry scoring 22 more points in the remainder of this Giants-Redskins game for me to make it to the semifinals. In a league where every single lower seed, I would be the only lower seed to not beat the higher seed too in the playoffs.
Which is possible, but unlikely.
I don't like your attitude right now, Jim.
But you could have a scary Terry game. Like you could, it could be on the brinks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it could. Yeah. So I have no choice but to stand with Scary Terry. I don't know if I could have done a worse job of putting in a lineup this week.
That's my issue with fantasy football is I'm always so hyped. I do a shitload of not mock drafts, but I do a lot of best ball, and I feel like I'm good at putting an initial draft together, but I'm so bad about setting a lineup week to week.
I knocked it out of the park last week, but this week, like I had the issue of my set it and forget it wide receiver, Deebo Samuel. Nope, not playing.
Nope, done.
I was getting quality out of Treylon Burks the last couple of games. He catches his first NFL touchdown. His first NFL touchdown was a fumble recovery, mind you. Awesome. And gets a bad case of the brain scramblies. There were a lot of answers. None of them were necessarily right because no one really blew up, but I definitely didn't choose the least right one. Definitely chose the most wrong one.
That sounds about right.
Yes. Okay.
we've had this week has been absolutely bananas. This weekend in particular.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, we had a World Cup final that I insist was filmed on a soundstage in Nutburger, Banana Land.
That stuff was scripted.
Nutburger City, Banana Land, for sure. It was like the moon landing.
So
Fake.
it was picturesque exactly how it happened. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, me included, thought it was going to be really boring. As soon as Argentina goes up 2-0, and I thought they were just going to like coast and play safe. It was going to be whatever.
Yeah.
And then Mbappe had something to say about it.
I don't remember any. It's that, Jim. I'm going to be honest with you, man. That was the most epic soccer game I think I've ever seen in my life, hands down.
It was amazing.
That might have been the most epic soccer game in the history of soccer, as far as
that was one of the best sporting events I've witnessed this entire year, hands down.
Yeah, man. It was, dude. All right, how much of a mind fuck was it for that Argentinian goalkeeper? Because you give up. Essentially, Kylian Mbappe puts the ball in the net past you 4 times.
Yes.
One of them is a penalty kick. 3 of them were penalty kicks.
Yes.
Every single time he kicked it to the exact same spot. I would be crushed emotionally if someone had just like, because he guessed right every single time and just couldn't get there. But he just had to be like, there's no way he's not going left. There's no way he's not going left. Like, I don't think there's ever been a situation like this in soccer where someone has taken 3 penalty kicks from the same person in one game.
And
I'm sure it's happened,
the exact same spot, or you're just like, he's not doing it again.
There's no way. Yeah, he's thinking there's no way, and then he decides. The worst thing that could have happened too was he got his hands on touched the first one because he thinks, okay, if he goes that spot again, I got it, and he just keeps. But hey, man. In the end, it was that keeper from Argentina that saved the day. After what was, you had just the most crisp, like, team-building goal I've ever seen in a World Cup final with Argentina, their second goal, where it was like maybe 4 or 5 touches. 4 of them were like first touch passes that were right on the money to like a beautiful like run on the back post that the dude just hammered home. It was perfect. And then you get the Mbappe penalty and you feel it start to brew. And then Mbappe just like goes bananas.
Oh, that beautiful kick! That should I still pause it. Like, obviously, if France wins, they're doing it. I think the way he looks in that kick, if France wins, that's like the cover of FIFA.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'm happy. It goes to a draw. You tie it up. It goes to a draw. I hit my draw bet.
If you guys watch the Pick Sports, you would be very like we were sweating that out. Not only we had Chase correctly guessed that it would go to shootout, but we both had France in penalties.
Yeah, and so in extra time you have just a really good goal back from Messi where the ball barely goes over the line. It's a goal, and then somehow like you give up a penalty to tie it. Cha-ching! We get the game going to penalties. And then I was thinking this in my pregame shower here, Jim. I was thinking this. At that point, with the odds that they give for teams to win via penalty in these finals, shouldn't we be betting the game to go to penalties and then put weighted bets on either side? It would still be profitable if it goes to penalties.
That would probably be the smarter way, where we could just win no matter what at that point. But I had fun with it.
My brain is a genius, Jim.
When we get to the Premier League finals or the Champions League finals, we'll have to do that then.
Yeah. Those games always go to fucking penalties, man. It did not disappoint. It's just such a banger. It was such a what a day. It was the
start of the day too. Like, it's just like, oh, what's gonna beat this? Oh, this crazy thing happened. What's gonna beat this? Oh, this stupid thing happened. Oh, yeah. God.
But one last note about the World Cup. What did our man? So the mind-fucked goalie from Argentina, he's the one who blows up our bets and penalties. He makes the save. He essentially makes the save to win it. So this is the man who is shit on all of our dreams. He's awarded the Golden Gloves, I guess, of the World Cup. Jim, do we have the video?
Which one would that be?
The soccer player with the gloves.
Oh my god, I don't know if I soccer player with the gloves. No, I don't have that one.
Hold on.
Where is it?
Hold on. Oh my god. All right. Hold on.
Oh my god. This is amateur hour for us.
I'm sending it to you.
I was so absorbed in just football and sports, I didn't add anything. I thought we would already have that.
We can screen share. I'm sharing the tweet with you.
That's what we're
again.
Gonna...
Again.
Hey. Sometimes it's amateur hour here, Chase.
Oh no.
Sometimes all I did today was format a disc and smoke a lot of cigarettes and watch football and recover from a massive hangover.
All right. You got it now. You can do.
I got it. Now I got it. So we're gonna wait for this shit to load up. Boom. And there we go.
All right, so this is the gentleman. Yeah, this is the gentleman who blew up our France and penalties bet. Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do the same thing.
Listen, he just won the World Cup.
That face!
Like, as a hero.
Look at that face!
Yeah.
The face he makes.
It's like he's wearing like a strap-on of Goofy's fist.
I like how they say, "Oh no."
Oh no.
I can't believe he's done this.
Have you ever had one person blow up your bets like that and then do that to you in a ceremony, an official ceremony, no less?
It honestly made me love the guy.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
He is, as of now, one of my top 3 just soccer players in general. Love the guy.
Took it extremely personal, and I still love him for it.
God damn it. That's just a boss move. I want to see someone at the Olympics do something like that.
Dude, but just the fact that, like, it wasn't even like, it's not even something dick shaped is the most, like, the most concerning part about it to me.
Maybe this guy's got a really weird dick.
That's a good point. Maybe this is something that can finally bring awareness to that chronic condition that some men have, weird dick syndrome.
It's WDS. Like really, really thick around and has just a really misshapen head.
And like 3 knuckles on each finger of the head.
Just like
yeah.
Weird looking claw dick.
Oh, you liked veins, just wait till you feel a knuckle.
Hell yeah, but World Cup wasn't the only sport going on this weekend. It's the start of bowl season. College football bowl season is here. We will recap the bowls, and we'll grace you guys with a short little splurt of Picks Porch on the Jimnasium when we pick bowls going up to this coming Friday. So, starting off the season, it's as always the Bahamas Bowl. We had UAB versus Miami of Ohio. UAB wins it 24-20.
With a last-second 1-yard line tackle to save it. It was a banger. It was way more of a banger than fucking Miami of Ohio and UAB should have been. That was great. Great game.
That's kind of a theme throughout most of, at least this opening weekend, is a lot of the games that people kind of write off against teams that nobody thinks about except for, freaks like you and me. Those games were all bangers. And the games against the big names like the Floridas and the Louisvilles and whatever were shit. Those games sucked.
Yep.
Troy 18, UTSA 12. Not as high scoring as I thought it would be, but in the end, Troy did get the upper hand.
Yeah, another really good game, and I've been surprised how chippy some of these bowl games have gotten, so especially with the G5 schools going at it. This is the first one that got really chippy, and I was for it. It was a great game.
I would also just like to mention and say something to ESPN. Stop putting these awesome bowl games at 2 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, we're not all aristocrats and take off the entire month of December.
I would love to be able to watch these games and not have to work, but sometimes daddy's got to make money.
Yeah, sorry we don't make enough money to use summer as a verb. Bowl games.
Disgusting. Louisville 24, Cincinnati 7. Speaking of disgusting.
How did this game hit the under, Jim?
I don't know. I thought the way it started out, I really thought the over was going to hit. I was really hoping. And then Cincinnati just died. They're not good.
I feel like if you were to really just kind of take this game's temperature, the headline was this was how much Louisville players hated Satterfield.
Did you see at the end? Did you hear that at the end when they were like celebrating and everything? One of the players actually, you could overhear on the broadcast, they said, "Fuck Scott Satterfield."
There we go. So this was I was on Cincinnati, and I should have been on just like the unbridled spite and hormones of like 18 to 22-year-old kids, you know.
The spite train is always real. Oregon State 30, Florida 3. As the SEC representative of the show, this is the moment where you probably say this one didn't matter. If we're going by conference, but fuck Florida.
I mean, fuck Florida, of course. You can't say much about Florida losing this game, quite honestly. I mean, your top quarterback opts out. Quarterback number 2 is in the Gainesville, jail for kiddie porn.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, it's Oregon State had everyone there playing. Everyone was excited to play. You tell Florida didn't really care. They were running
Oregon
some
State's
scrub
also
out
like
there.
a decent team.
They're decent. They can't throw the ball for shit. This game was a easy under because that total was like 53.
I'm trying to remember when I grabbed it because I grabbed it after before the Richardson stuff. I took that gamble because I thought no way in hell he plays.
Who was it? Not Florida. Sorry. I mean, Oregon State was a 7.5 point favorite. Man,
they were a 7.5, and then they were a 10.
Yeah. It was an ass beating. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not great.
I mean, it's not great. I didn't expect Florida to win, but I expected them to show up still. And not seeing that, it was almost got shut out. That would have been really bad.
That would have been pretty embarrassing.
I don't think Florida's been shut out in a long time.
No.
Fresno State 29, Washington State 6. Really thought this was going to be closer.
I kind of thought that this was like Jake Hayner's last ride into the sunset before he's, playing in the USFL or XFL or something.
He's going to try for the NFL. I hope he makes it,
of course.
But I don't think he will.
Dude, he's so gutsy. He's so fucking gutsy. He looked like a boss out there against Washington State, too.
God, I love Jake Hayner so much.
Yeah.
Whatever team he goes to, I will root for.
I'm letting him back in the group home. Fresno State.
Are you going to... So they're in for now, and then once we come to the offseason, they're in.
For now, if they keep their grades up.
Okay.
They don't act up in summer school.
They got to have a good report card come off season.
That's right.
Southern Miss 38, Rice 24. Way more points scored in this than I thought humanly possible.
This was not good for the Undertaker. No. Yeah, it did not look like it was going that way, and then it turned into a shootout late, which I don't know. Southern Miss was throwing the ball and not just wildcatting, and they looked kind of good the entire time.
It was kind of weird, but I was there for it. I was enjoying this game quite a bit. Rice was in it till basically the end, and then they just kind of poo-pooed.
Yeah, just fell off.
Which happens. Southern Miss is not a bad team. They did take down Tulane.
Yep, and Rice, you made a bowl game.
Right? Successful season for the Owls.
Literally, the most impressive thing you've done since John F. Kennedy gave a speech there that time.
BYU 24, SMU 23. Brigham Young University, baby.
Yeah, man. Except for that whole middle part of the season thing.
Yeah, they were bad.
BYU was the team that we thought they were going to be. They were really, really good at the beginning and at the end. But
this is their third string quarterback.
Part. Yeah.
And no defensive staff. And I sent you the article. So 25 of the players' wives accompanied them on this trip.
Dude, I still crack up every time I see the name Gunnar Romney because it's of course, Mitt's kid or grandkid plays at BYU. Of course.
Of course he does. Boise State 35, North Texas 32.
North Texas covered.
They played with heart.
This game also got surprisingly chippy.
It did. It very much did. I think this is a situation where I kind of talked about. I did think Boise State was the much better team, but I didn't account for. This is the only game I messed up my system. I didn't account for want to, and North Texas wanted to be there way more than Boise State did.
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I am the most interested in seeing what happens with the North Texas program going forward into next year. Because
AAC.
Moving to the AAC, you turn over a new leaf with a new coach. This is a team that we've seen like perform pretty well the last 2 years, considering, you know, what the program is and who they're playing against. And I mean, is it not outside of the realm of possibility that North Texas could really grow in the next couple of years if they make the right hire?
I think that's what they're going for. I think they're them along with a couple other schools. So, who are they adding? I think they're adding North Texas. They're adding UAB, I believe. UAB, Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, Rice. Those are all the teams getting added to the AAC. So if you look at that, FAU has a new coach. Charlotte has a new coach. UAB has a new coach. And North Texas has a new coach. I think these schools are trying to kind of reset themselves going into a new conference and sort of establish a hierarchy.
Who did North Texas get?
We don't know yet. I don't think they've hired anybody yet. Let me check the coaching carousel.
We just know Biff Poggi is at the Clit.
And that the DILF is at UAB.
All of the coaching news irrelevant. Problem solved.
Everything else irrelevant. Let's see who we got real quick for North Texas. Eric Morris, the OC for Washington State.
Okay.
He's been an assistant at Houston, Texas Tech, and Incarnate Word. So he knows Texas.
And aren't these all like Mike Leach disciple air raid places too?
Basically, Eric Morris, I think, has been there. Let's see. Let's look him up. Where has he been? I wonder if he's under the tree. So 2010, Houston. 2011, Houston. 2012, Washington State. So that was pre-Mike Leach. 2013 to 2017, he was at Texas Tech. I think that's post-Leach.
But it's still
like his. It's his system. Yeah,
it's Kingsbury and stuff.
Yeah, it's Kingsbury shit.
Which is no. Yeah. So yeah,
this is a farther away branch from the Mike Leach tree, and I love the fact that like this guy knows Texas. That's the one thing. Texas specifically, I feel like is one of the few states where you had to have a Texas guy.
Yeah, and I think if it is that air raid sort of concept, it's a kind of football that a lot of the schools in Texas actually play. It seems like they all have quarterbacks that can sling it around. They all have wide receivers. The University of North Texas is in Denton, Texas. It's just north of the city of Dallas and Fort Worth. And like, I know there are two other big schools in that region, but there are so many football players just right there, right on their back step, you know?
So out of all of the new ads to the American, again, UAB, Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, Rice, and UTSA. Who do we think is the best team? It's UTSA, right? Like they have the best footing.
Yeah, even though they lost to a Fun Belt team, which there's no shame in this season, yeah, UTSA is still it seems like they retained a lot of their coaching staff too, which is amazing to me that after 2 years, they're still kind of holding strong with what they have and getting into the, getting ranked before they've been like just plundered, right?
Yeah, UTSA might be able to start like immediately competing for AAC championships because I'm looking at here, it's them, SMU, Tulane, and Memphis that are like the good teams.
And UTSA, I mean, there really isn't like another like big. There's not like a big football school in San Antonio either. And there's it's a gigantic metro area. There's a ton of talent around San Antonio. So could be
interesting. I'm excited.
We put our thumb on two programs that are just on the rise On the rise, sir. Look at that.
Damn right. And I'm excited for the AAC. I'm also very excited for the Big 12 next year when they add all those teams and still have Texas and Oklahoma.
Right.
It'll be a nice, fun dynamic.
That'll be pretty fun. That's when you'll really get the fuck you Texas and fuck you Oklahoma calls.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Like when they're playing Houston.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Data's back, baby. But we got bowl games ahead of us right now, so let us don our Picks Porch apparel, have the new little change background, put on some nice tunes. Let's pick some college football games going into this Friday. So we're going to start tomorrow, Chase. We're starting, or today if you're listening to this afterwards. Monday, UConn, Marshall, at like 9:30 in the morning our time.
What? It's 1:30 p.m. It's 1:30 our time.
Okay, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, man.
Marshall's minus 12 in this one, over under 40.5 plus 320 on the money line. I'm going back to my system of want to. I don't think there's a team in the bowl games at all that want this more than UConn at the moment. This is like their Super Bowl.
Right. That's literally my handicap too. I went through, I looked at opt-outs and injuries for all these games and everything, and you actually don't have a lot of opt-outs or injuries or transfer portal, people leaving on either side. But UConn, I mean, it's a pretty big game for Marshall. This is one of the biggest games in probably UConn football history.
That's no understatement.
So give me UConn plus 11.5. I'm sprinkling on the money line plus 420.
I am as well. I'm right there with you. Eastern Michigan, San Jose State on the 20th. Our beloved Eastern Michigan Eagles are 4-point dogs to San Jose State. Over under 54 plus 150. I kind of hate that these teams are playing each other because these are both teams I wanted to root for come bowl season.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, almost everybody on either team, like, they're both remarkably healthy. There's not a bunch of transfers or anything. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can count on two things. That is, one, there will be a lot of points, so I'm taking the over 54.5. And two,
yep,
I ride or die with all directional Mich schools, Eastern Michigan plus 155 on the money line.
Since they're the only ones playing, do we play the song or do we wait till they win?
We wait till they win.
We wait till they win. So we will come. We'll know on the Picks Porch whether they win or not. So
absolutely.
Tune in for that. Up next, same day. I hate these weekday day games that I can't really watch. I'm going to have them on my phone. I'm going to have my phone plugged in. I ain't going to get shit done at work this week. They better be prepared. We have Toledo Libibity. Toledo minus 4.5, over under 53.5, plus 160 on the money line for Libibity. And again, want to is my main factor. We kind of saw what happened to Liberty once Hugh Freeze accepted the job and they got demolished by New Mexico State. Let me say that again. They got railroaded by New Mexico State. I couldn't even finish that. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, that was a green chili you just burped up right there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Get ready for a ton of points. If you look at who entered the transfer portal and who's leaving Liberty, like,
a lot of defense.
A lot of defense. Like, get ready for a ton of points. So I'm on over 54.5. And if they're going to give me minus 105, like a very not juicy line, 4.5. Yeah, I'm taking. Yeah. I think Toledo wins. I think there's a ton of points. I think Liberty really just does not show up.
I think their season's been done for the last 2 weeks.
Pretty much.
The 21st of December, we have South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. South Alabama is minus 4.5, over under 56, plus 170 on the money line. I'm approaching this the same way I'm approaching UTSA and Troy. I think the Sun Belt is a better conference than Conference USA. So I think teams that are comparable in those conferences, I'm going to take the Sun Belt team. Give me South Alabama.
Get ready for Western Kentucky. This line is way too small for South Alabama. South Alabama is going to win this by 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Western Kentucky, they have a lot of attrition from the offensive line. They have a lot of attrition on
and the staff.
Yeah, and the staff. So South Alabama minus 4.5. Since they're going to have offensive line, they're sort of some inexperienced offensive line. Give me under 24.5 for the Western Kentucky team total. Ooh. And then give me over 30.5 for the South Alabama team total.
I'm going to co-sign the Western Kentucky. I will not co-sign the South Alabama because I've seen this offense. It has been not great at times this season. But I like the under as a play just in general. I love the Western Kentucky play. And I might tease South Alabama to like, what am I going to tease them to? I might tease them to like -10.
Okay. I think that's worth it. I mean, if you can lump in some other great teams to tease in here, this is a really good.
That's a reverse
week.
tease.
Yeah. It's a really good week. Like if you wanted to put together one big teaser to like run through the entire week, this would be a great week to do.
God, you're such a tease now. Like when did you get so into teasers?
I don't know. Because I'm bad at it. I tease games that don't need to be teased and like end up losing money because of it.
Every time.
Yeah, but I don't know. So they seem to make sense because some of these lines are a little bit wonky, especially with I keep talking about transfers and everything and opt-outs, but it's a big deal. It really changes these games. I feel like these set these lines and they don't necessarily really consider everyone who's gone yet, and so you get some really fucked up totals and spreads.
Goddamn right we do. Air Force Baylor Thursday. Baylor -5, over under 47.5, plus 170 on the money line. Give me that under.
Where is this bowl game? What is it?
This bowl game is the Armed Forces Bowl at Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, I was thinking there
at
might
Amon
be
G. Carter Stadium.
I went ahead. I went Air Force plus 4.5, and I'm taking the under. I'm going under in that game.
Yep.
I think Air Force is going to slow it down.
Co-sign both those. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that Air Force money line too. Up next, I'll do the games on the 23rd because that's when we're going to record the porch. So we got Houston Lafayette versus the Houston's -7, over under 58, plus 220 on the money line for the Cajuns. This one's tough. I'm going to go with Houston. I'm going to roll with Houston because I think they're the better team, and if the best of Houston comes out.
So this is a game that could be teased. Like I would totally tease this like 7 points and do like Houston a half point, sort of 7.5. Because I don't know what.
The second you do that, Houston's going to win by like 10.
Right, but I went ahead and I said Houston -7.5 at plus 100. That I kind of expected like everyone to be leaving Houston after the season, but the fact that like Clayton Tune is playing, like they're all sticking around, I like
showed
that.
Me some buy-in.
So I was Houston -7.5, and I was over 57.5.
I also apologize to me in the future and everyone else. I see this return, and I feel like this is going to say I will probably be big on Houston next year. Just a warning. And this is like, I'm ashamed to say it, but I'm probably going to love Houston.
It's hard to not like Dana 2 years in a row.
Oh, God. Wake Forest, Missouri. Missouri is a 1-point underdog right now, over under of 60 points, -105 on the money line for Missouri, -115 for Wake.
I'm flipping. I'm flipping what I did from the picks porch. I'm gonna take Wake Forest -1.5 instead of Missouri, and then
you flip-flopper.
Missouri's another one of these teams that the defense is really hurt by the opt-outs and transfers, so I'm going over 16.5. I'm going Wake Forest in a shootout.
I'll go the over here. Is Sam Hartman playing?
I think so.
Let's see. Wake Forest opt-outs. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Christian Turner opted transferring. They only have one. And Gavin Holmes is DB. And 3 key defenders. So he's playing. Yeah. I'm gonna have to flip flop too. I really thought Hartman was gonna transfer.
And so at Missouri, on the defensive end of Missouri, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 opt-outs, and you have 2 cornerbacks opting out for Wake Forest. Points. Hammer 60.5.
Love the over. I like Wake here at this point. Missouri, the entire year, was led by their defense. The opt-outs are going to hurt them tremendously.
Truth.
That's all the bowl games we have leading up to the picks porch.
I got I got a couple more points out of Scary Terry before half. He's got
Where are we
3
standing right now?
He's got 3.4. I'm down 141.94 to 122.26.
Okay.
19.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Big second half for Scary Terry.
That's what we're hoping for. Prayers up.
Prayers up. Big second half right now. Let's talk a little NFL. Starting Thursday night, we had the 49ers versus the Seahawks. The Niners win it 21-13.
The hits didn't stop with the all weekend with the NFL. It's like we had one bad game and then all the rest were bangers. And this one was a pretty good game. Game.
If I'm a quarterback, I want to play for the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan so bad.
It's so easy. Looking. I like how Brock Purdy's dad looks like a forgotten Harbaugh brother. Have you seen this dude?
He does. He really does.
He rocks the hat like he's wearing a mock turtleneck. It's just perfect. Like he looks like the secret family that the Harbaugh's father had. Like
it's hard for me not to root for Brock Purdy because I loved him at Iowa State.
Yeah, man. I mean, how can you not root for Mr. Irrelevant too?
Goddamn right.
Yeah, that offense it just makes it easy. I think it makes
every
it
quarterback
so easy.
should want to go to the 49ers. It just makes sense. We moved to Saturday. We had the Ravens Browns. Browns win at 13-3.
All right. I feel like something better is coming along.
Something better is coming along. We'll get to that one last on the Saturday games. We had the Dolphins Bills. Bills win at 32-29. I thought this was a good game. I thought the Dolphins played better than I expected them to.
All right. I want your opinion on it as a Dolphins fan. I have my opinion on this. Does this put the whole, Tua can't play in the cold thing to bed?
Yes, I think so.
I think so too.
Yes.
That wasn't on him. He came out and he balled out.
No, he looked good. And I think no matter what happens this year, if we don't make the playoffs, I'm going to be severely disappointed. That was my bar for the year, is making the playoffs. I'm going to be very disappointed. I think no matter what, I come away with Tua is a fine quarterback, but he's like I'm tired of people trying to compare him to Herbert. Stop it.
To put things in perspective for you, going into the season, would you have said it was a victory, a win for the season if you split your series with the Buffalo Bills?
I would have been very happy with that.
Yeah.
I would have been very happy with that. Less happy if you told me that we're probably going to, at best, split with the Jets.
That's unfortunate. That's the bad bit of news.
But the Jets turned into a pretty good team.
Just turned into a pretty good team. That's true. And now they're pulling back their triple. They're going to be pulling back their triple reverse tragic magic rally around the backup whenever Mike White comes back in next week.
They need to bring in a free agent just to have an extra person on rotation.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was a great game, though. This was a fun game. Great snow game. It started snowing at the end. That was fun. The game of the night and first game, the game of the weekend, Colts-Vikings. Vikings pull it out 39-36 after being down 33-0 at halftime.
Yes. Matt Ryan is the anti-clutch.
I kind of feel bad for him.
He should lend his face to a brand of prescription boner poison after he retires, because he's got the most just flaccid womp wah kind of finishes of any quarterback all time. And I'm here for it.
He has an MVP season. He's been a fairly decent quarterback throughout, but the first tagline in his book is he was the quarterback of the teams that gave up the largest comeback in NFL history and the largest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Yeah.
And that's objectively funny.
The Colts, man. The Colts. Just, oh my God. You let Kirk Cousins floss all over you. Just absolutely. Oh my God.
The Vikings. Speaking of which, the Vikings they get away with it again. They do this again.
They do it. Yeah, they do it again. They're now. You keep hearing this statistically the worst team probably to ever clinch a playoff spot this early.
Probably. It's I don't know, man.
They're gonna run into a team that can actually like step on their throat, and it's not gonna be good for them in the playoffs.
I don't know. Who do you? Man, I want to see their matchup. I wonder who they play. Because they'll have a home game.
They'll have a home game. That's true. I don't know. Anyone who with a good, solid run game who will still call plays to run, and can just kind of just hammer it away.
Yeah, like if they play a team with the Eagles, they're done.
Oh
But
yeah,
they get a wild card team.
yeah. So they'll get the Cowboys. The Cowboys would smoke them. Cowboys are a wild card.
I think the Cowboys would beat the snot out of them.
They probably get not the Cowboys though. They could get the Redskins.
Let's see who we get. Yeah, if they get the Commanders,
or they could get the
Giants. I think they beat the Giants.
You think they beat the Giants? Okay.
I think they beat the Giants. So on the table, we could get the Cowboys. I don't think any team from the South is getting a wild card spot. So it's either the Bucks or the Panthers, probably the Bucks. But the Bucks are getting the home field, so never mind on that. It'd be the Cowboys, the Commanders, the Giants. And it looks like on the bubble, there's an outside shot they could get a team like the Seahawks. I think they beat the Seahawks. Oh, dude, here's the one.
I think the Seahawks
outside shot they could get like a team like the Lions.
Okay, I think the Lions would absolutely roast them, and I don't think they beat the Seahawks. They beat the
Seahawks.
If you have Kenneth Walker healthy, that's a team that if they get him down, who could run the ball and that could actually fight off any furious comeback that the Vikings might throw at you.
I think the only one I'm very confident in them not beating is the Cowboys. That's the only one I'm like 80% confidence level.
That's fair. Okay.
So far into the playoffs, locked in right now, we have the Eagles, Vikings, 49ers, Bills, and Chiefs.
I think the 49ers are the team to watch, man.
I got a nice I got like an 8-1 ticket on them. I'm feeling good.
I think the 49ers and I don't know. If Detroit can find their way in, just the way that they're playing, man, like I would hate to play against any team. I would hate to play against Detroit.
The AFC, oh God, we got just the Bills and the Chiefs right now. I think the Bills are starting to heat back up. They're playing a little hurt right now, but I think they're starting to heat back up. The Bengals,
the Bengals are probably it might be a good time to drop a future on the Bengals again. Because to me they look like they right now the best team in the AFC.
Well, it's just the fact that they seem to have the Chiefs number. That I feel like the Chiefs are just consistently they're always at the top of the AFC, but the Bengals just find ways to beat them. So I like those odds.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow doesn't take all the hits that he was taking last year. Like he started off, getting creamed, and then it seems like he's getting protected. They're a lot better in the secondary than they had been last year.
Speaking of which, we had Bengals 34, Bucks 23, which is.
Yeah, considering that the Bucks had him down like 17-0, and then they scored like 34 unanswered, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch. Yeah. Fuck Tom Brady, yo. Fuck Tom Brady. Where the bread at, Tom Brady? I need some bread.
It's kind of nice seeing that this happened to Tom Brady because you root for him because he's old, you root for him because he's great. When he's not doing well, when he does something great, it's like, Tom Brady's back. It's like he's not back.
He's not. We saw it with Drew Brees. We saw it with Peyton Manning. When these guys hit the wall, they hit the wall.
Yeah, man. When it's done, it's done. Like, yeah. And he's got enough like crazy shit going on in his life right now too that like I don't know. It's just you can tell it's he's like
weighing down on him.
You can tell he can only like let himself get into the game like for like short bursts where he's like really fired up and the rest of the time he's just like fuck this.
Yep. Chargers 17, Titans 14. Chargers are another one of those teams making a run. They're in the hunt right now.
Yeah, and the Titans lose, and the Jacksonville Jaguars inch closer to maybe edging out Tennessee for that spot, man.
They're on the bubble right now. So right now, we'll get through all the scores real quick. So we had Cardinals 15, Broncos 24, Chiefs 30, Texans
Broncos
24.
country, let's ride.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Chiefs winning a nail biter. They scrape by this one. Jags win 40-34. That game was hilarious and awesome. The morning games today were great. The morning games were all bangers.
Listen, for this being the nationally televised game for Fox, like I was dreading this. I was like, this is going to be a terrible football game.
What a day for Fox.
What a day for Fox. Oh my God. What a game, man. Like this was hot, man. Trevor Lawrence looked like the real deal in this one too.
He's looking good, dude. He's coming together.
Yeah.
Steelers 24, Panthers 16. I think this kind of firmly puts the Bucs in the driver's seat in the South.
Mike Tomlin, I think, can still finish 500.
Which, hey,
over. He has to be. He has to be over or under. I think.
Yeah, I think they have to win out.
He can still do it. He's never finished.
No, wait, no.
500.
I think they got. They have one. No, he has to win out.
Okay.
He has to win out. Lions 20, Jets 17. Also banger.
I might have cursed this game because I sent you a DM that said something along the lines of rally around the backup reverse magic.
And they did for a second.
Yeah, and then I sent you that message, and Jared Goff came back and won it on a ballsy ass call with a little tight end drag. It was sexy, dude. The Lions are playing sexy football.
Falcons 18, Saints 21. I feel like the Falcons kind of did a dumb of not starting Ritter right away because like maybe they thought they could maybe make a playoff push, which was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And now you only have you're 14 games into the season. You have 3 more games. You have 4 total games to figure out, oh, is our rookie quarterback good?
Right. Yeah. Should have made the move early when you kind of realized it was going downhill. But I mean, it's not like they were ever. I mean, they're still technically in it. I think the Saints are still technically in it.
I think everyone in that division is technically in it.
Yeah, so I can see why they held on as long as they could. But now that it's Ritter, it's Ritter.
Like this is the worst case scenario though, because now you don't know. Like he's going to play 4 games, you're going to have no idea if he's any good.
I mean. Assuming some of these games are division games, they're going to be games where people are scrapping and clawing because there's still a chance for everyone to play in the playoffs. So, I mean, he's going to get the best of the division.
Yeah, I mean, that's something at least. Eagles 25, Bears 20.
I kind of thought this one might end up being a little bit sloppy, low scoring. It was. Jalen Hurts threw a couple picks, but they ran the ball really well, except for Miles Sanders, who's on my fantasy team.
And man, when Justin Fields turns on those burners sometimes, guy can
run. Dude. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can.
God, he was entertaining to watch. Right now we're sitting at Giants 14, Commanders 3.
Need more Scary Terry. It is not going my way, Jim.
It's gonna happen. And then the last game we're gonna talk about, the dumbest game, the craziest game. Patriots 24, Raiders 30.
So if you're not following the Raiders have had a terrible record of being up like a ton of points and still losing by 1 score at the end.
Yeah, they've been like the opposite of the Chiefs in that regard, where the Chiefs go down early in the first half and then come back. The Raiders usually start out strong and then just fumble the game away in the dumbest way.
Yeah.
And I will say it week in and week out. Josh McDaniels is lucky that Nathaniel Hackett is a head coach of the NFL.
Yes, it definitely takes and he's in the same division.
Same division.
Too. That really helps take the stink off of it for sure.
These are 2 of the worst coaches in the NFL. And honestly, everyone talks about Bill Belichick, and he's the GOAT. He's the best coach of all time. This Patriots team is extremely undisciplined and not good.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's like he's completely checked out with like personnel and everything because he doesn't even find it's like now that Tom Brady is gone, he doesn't find these diamonds in the rough anymore because people aren't willing to take a cut and pay to go play with Mac Jones and have Matt Patricia call the offense.
Yeah, maybe bringing back Matt Patricia and Joe Judge was not the move
Not smart.
that you thought it was.
Not smart. Maybe reach outside your organization next time.
Maybe he needs to do the Bill Belichick. Maybe he needs to have his own Nick Saban moment, where Nick Saban eventually came around and hired Lane Kiffin, and then was transformed.
Yeah.
I think Billy B needs to do something like that. Also, this had the dumbest ending to any football game I've ever seen.
Let me just say that if you had the Patriots plus 2.5, you are likely floating in a river after jumping off a bridge. You are livid. Let's see it.
Yeah, I got it right here. We're pulling it up. I'm not going to share the audio. So that way we don't get anything. Look at this.
All right. So the game is tied. You go down, it goes to overtime.
Yeah, let's paint the picture.
24-24. There are 2 seconds left.
The Raiders had just marched down the field in a crazy drive to tie up the game. The Patriots have their chance right now. Last play of regulation.
So you run the draw play because if he breaks it and runs for a touchdown, great, you're a genius. If not, then you are still alive and heading to overtime where you live to fight another day.
Exactly. What happened? Okay. Let's get that back up. Bam.
All right, so they run the draw. He finds a hole. Oh, he breaks one.
It's like, at this point you're thinking, maybe he can break one.
Yeah, we've got a chance. Guy on the edge does a great job.
And then he decides to do that.
Yes, this was not planned.
At this point I'm thinking, he's just going to go down. We're going to go to overtime.
This guy right here, number 16, he has
no idea what's about to happen.
You know what he's not doing right now is yelling, "Hey, dog, why don't we try a lateral?"
Yeah. So we try the lateral. He's like, shit, I got the ball now. What do I do?
Now my brain has fallen completely out of my own ass. I am in panic mode because suddenly I have the ball. There isn't anybody near me. What do I do now?
Because you go in, once you get the lateral, you go into lateral mode. Where you're just like, oh shit, we're playing to win the game now. We got to make this lateral work.
Right.
So he goes.
Because he should have just gone down.
Yes, he should have just fallen right there. So instead he decides to do the one thing a non-quarterback should rarely ever do. And that's pass the ball.
Not only that, he didn't throw it up a sideline. He threw it right into the middle of the field where everyone who's trying to stop him is. That's just the best pause right there.
Do you want to know what his post-game comments were?
Yes.
I thought Mac Jones was open.
No. Mac Jones is never open. Even if there's no one standing near him, Mac Jones isn't open.
When you're going through the thought process of it, I thought Mac Jones was open.
Now you toss it. Not only this, you're throwing it back to the last person. The very last person between the other team and the end zone. You're throwing the ball back to him, and he's not what you call an athlete. He's not a tackler of any kind. And only that, this is like,
It would have made more sense for him to throw it to 71 here than to throw it to Mac Jones.
I mean, look, at least 71 is like engaged and wants to be there. Mac Jones is like, dear God, what is just happening? This kind of looks like, Donkey Kong Country. Whenever Donkey Kong tags in Diddy Kong, it just kind of boops him on the head. Boop.
I feel like once Mac Jones throws the ball on that play, he thinks it's done. Like he thinks his job is done.
Right. I mean, if you're a New England bettor, you're going into this thinking worst case scenario, this goes to overtime and I have a chance to cover the 2.5 with a field goal and win it outright. Possibly maybe my sprinkle wins. And then people just like lose their minds and go into pitchy woo woo mode. That might be pitchy woo woo 2022.
I think that's the front runner right now.
I'm going to go ahead and declare that's the winner for pitchy woo woo 2022. Ooh.
Oh, we should have end of the year awards now that you actually say that.
I mean, Oakland's not running next week. I got time to think.
Fuck yeah. I mean, just that capping, I'm going to say that's the cap right now. Capping off the crazy football weekend we've had.
I think you're right. I don't think it gets any better than that. Whoa, Scary Terry update. We now have 8 points, 8.5.
Only needs what?
I need
18
like
more?
I need like
50?
15 more to win.
Okay, you have time. You have time.
I have time. It's 10:40. Oh, here we go. Let's go.
Oh, God, I got nothing else to add, man. I just watched football, and then my little brother had his birthday. I got drunk as shit last night.
Yeah,
Great
it's
time.
gummies for me, and oral spray.
Gummies and oral spray. That's the way to live. I'm upset that I have to work this week. I'm not going to work the next week. Chase, what do you got going on in your life?
It's the holidays. Really nothing. Everything's kind of shutting down. We'll be a podcast or 2 next week. Other than that, just chilling. I'm around.
Basically the same. You can find me wherever. I'm doing stuff and things. And thank you for watching the Gymnasium. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see you Friday, actually, for the pick.
Whoa!
Oh,
He's up to 11.5. Up to 11.5. We are 12 points away.
We're going to make it. We're going to make it.